everybody? Ryker Richard here, coming in hot with not some crazy ground-shattering news about Kawhi Leonard, but very interesting facts or rumors that I've articulated now yesterday in regards to Kawhi Leonard, which I'm still impressed. In yesterday night's showing, when Kawhi Leonard went out and had himself a game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and then stays completely tuned in, completely checked in on the bench, and is up in the dying minutes of a blowout when the entire reserve, the extra reserve, Chris Boucher, is out getting a nasty swat, but Kawhi Leonard standing up, cheering, clapping, and smiling. And if that's not enough to put young Raptors fans into high spirits, then I don't know what is. And there's further information now that is I'm just going to continue the train of positivity here. So, like I said, not news that's going to really make any sort of significant impact stand on its own, but it's worth talking about, I think. So with that, we're going to get into it. And I'm going to start with a preface, I guess. And you guys know, if you've been watching the videos or the podcasts, that I'm very critical about the American media or the popular media and their reliance or their, inability to communicate any positive information or news about the Toronto Raptors. It's always LeBron this, LeBron that, Golden State Warriors, Lakers. They really only follow one or two stories. And it really is frustrating. So with that, I'm going to follow the trend, and I'm going to talk about LeBron James. I'm going to be a pure hypocrite here. But it's fun news. It's fun information because reports are coming out that Kawhi Leonard is not interested in playing with LeBron James. Now, this is just a report as per, who is it? Michael C. Wright. Yeah, he's a relatively reliable reporter, as much as they come. And it's interesting news now that we're really seeing LeBron James be put into one of the most curious, I guess, situations that he's been in his entire career. The first season that he's not in the finals since joining Miami. He's not even making the playoffs. And after a disastrous attempt to trade for Anthony Davis with the Los Angeles Lakers, now the entire team has lost their identity. And I've been saying this since the very beginning of the season. I've sounded off very candidly my opinions about the Los Angeles Lakers, how assembling a bad team with no shooters just didn't make sense, that they probably weren't going to make the playoffs. And now what I expected has come true. And LeBron James, although putting up terrific numbers, if you've seen his stats in the past countless games and over the entire season, he's been averaging incredible numbers, surpassing Michael Jordan in the scoring record. But you really can't, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because and I don't want to delve too deeply into any of the rumors or any sort of the off-court antics, but it seems to me that there is a very clear identification issue with management, with coaching, with LeBron James, with leadership. And with all of that aside, LeBron and the Lakers, they're in a position now where they need to decide what to do moving forward. And the clear solution, I would say, to LeBron means attracting another player. And in the offseason, getting one of the big-name guys. And we can see that Kevin Durant is not going to go to Los Angeles Lakers. Kyrie Irving is not going to go there. I doubt the Lakers are going to be able to trade for Anthony Davis come the offseason. And now Kawhi Leonard, and this is how it all relates back to the Raptors Digest, but now Kawhi Leonard, when he initially demanded a trade from the San Antonio Spurs, he said he wanted to go to the Brooklyn Nets, the Clippers, the Lakers. I'm sure that there was a handful of other teams out there, but these two Los Angeles teams were the marquee teams that everybody expected that Kawhi Leonard was going to eventually land. And so now, Raptors fans, we can have a sigh of relief to say we kind of suspected that he wasn't going to go and team up with Mr. Hollywood, but we can get a sigh of relief now to say that Kawhi Leonard almost, I'm not going to say definitively, but the sources are indicating that he is not having any intention to go out to Los Angeles. And this has been an up and down season of Kawhi being rested in games that he probably didn't need to be rested in times that we've questioned whether or not he's really enjoyed or playing on the team, whether he's meshed with his teammates, buying a property in Los Angeles now, of course, or not in Los Angeles, in California now. Of course, it's nowhere near the Staples Center, so that's not really a great point. But what all this meant, right, and what all this means towards him potentially re-signing with the Toronto Raptors next season. And now this is not to say that he's certainly going to re-sign with the Toronto Raptors, but it's a really good point to say that, well, at least he's not going to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. Now there's still room to be concerned about the Clippers, perhaps even the Brooklyn Nets, perhaps a handful of other teams, but we're just going to start piling positives for the Toronto Raptors side up. And this includes now him smiling post-game. I'm not going to overrate that. Him smiling and cheering for Chris Boucher in garbage minutes of a blowout game against a nobody team that has no Anthony Davis playing on that night. That's important. Whether you want to say it or not, it's important that he feels that way, because a player that doesn't care for a team, has no intentions of re-signing, doesn't want any part to do with a team except for go in, do what you have to do, and leave, you wouldn't be giving that sort of passion, that sort of enthusiasm. Reports now that he doesn't want to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. That's another positive. Another report saying that, or just a comment from Kawhi Leonard, saying he told them that they were playing soft to his team. He's referring to letting the ball bounce 2 or 3 times before somebody grabbed a rebound, saying, "I have to show them a tougher game. That's what I do. Try to lead by example." Now, if this doesn't sound like really something positive to talk about Kawhi Leonard right there, is that he's now becoming a vocal leader. Right, because this is something that fans just watching the game, you don't necessarily see, and you do see it this season, because he's being more expressive now and trying to get calls from referees. He's being a completely unparalleled version to what he was in San Antonio, being a very reserved guy, letting the other leaders on the team kind of, command the ship, while he's the guy that puts in all the effort on defense, puts in the effort on offense. But now in Toronto, you're seeing him communicate with his teammates. You're seeing him be vocal out on the court, and you're seeing him put in the work. This is a guy that really any player should look up to, especially on the Toronto Raptors team, and especially guys like OG that have, sort of similar play styles or can develop into similar players. So this is just another good sign that he's stepping up not only into the role of him being a primary scorer, primary defender, but also to be a leader on the team, right? Because he can sit back. He can let Kyle Lowry sort of dictate the intangibles. But if he's taking it upon himself, taking the onus to really man up, to chin up, to tell the Raptors, because he has the most experience, he has the most, finals experience, playoff experience, whatever you want to say it. This is a guy that has a lot of accolades, that really has the credibility to be able to say these things, and it's good. It's really good that he's doing that. So that's just another fun point to bring up. And if really you look at what he's been able to do this season, Kawhi Leonard, and now we're just going to talk about in general what he has achieved, and whether or not this is, if it has any indication as towards should he re-sign with the Toronto Raptors. And of course we're going to say he should re-sign with them, but statistically he's having his best season ever in terms of points per game. He's averaging the most, I think, rebounds per game. He has incredibly high field goal percentage, among the best he's ever shot in his career. He's up there in terms of assists per game, almost the most of his career as well. His 3-point shooting is pretty good. He's doing it all, and he still has a good support. Now, of course, the Raptors have dropped a couple of games against teams that they really shouldn't have. But all of these little intangible pieces that are all adding up, come playoff time, this is when we're really going to see what the whole construct has been, if it's all going to come together into something desirable, into a team that you'd want to stay and be a part of, if they can have the Toronto Raptors have playoff success. And we're really slowly, I think fans would agree, we're leading to, yes, being that inevitable conclusion that the Raptors are making a very desirable bid to have Kawhi Leonard stay. So I want to hear from you guys. I don't know if we're rambling a little bit long here, but I want to hear from you guys whether or not you think Kawhi Leonard, and all this little news, like I said, nothing ground-shattering, but all these little tidbits that have been popping up yesterday, all this new information, is this a better sign, a promising sign that Kawhi Leonard might be leading down the road of wanting to re-sign or wanting to stay with the Toronto Raptors? Or tell me, if you think about it candidly, that it's all fluff, it's all garbage information, whether it's valid or not, this really has no bearing towards whether he'd want to actually stay and continue to be a Toronto Raptor. So you could think either way, and definitely let me hear about it. Maybe this is all, I don't know, maybe it's all a cover-up, and maybe on the side, Rich Paul and LeBron James are twiddling their thumbs and secretly luring him to play for the Los Angeles Lakers next season. Who knows? Who knows? But, if you've made it this far, thanks. Like and comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys are the best for making it. I'm going to leave the podcast off in this funny picture. I just saw it today. Love the Raptors community for always being on top of this kind of stuff. But from Media Day at the All-Star weekend, we have Kawhi Leonard and a LeBron James booth set up side by side. And LeBron James, I mean, you see it on the screen, but being absolutely swarmed by reporters. Kawhi Leonard doesn't demand that kind of attention. I don't think they're going to get those proper sound bites from Kawhi, but I think you can see perhaps a guy that doesn't like or love to be in the spotlight. Why he'd maybe want to stay away from a LeBron James Hollywood Los Angeles Lakers team. Or maybe Kawhi Leonard is getting a taste for the superstardom now with his new signing with New Balance, being the face of that franchise or that company. So it's all interesting stuff. So again, made it this far. Thanks, like, subscribe. Nothing crazy, but some good points, some good information that has been brought to light yesterday that I thought was worth sharing, and it's worth feeling positive about with the whole Kawhi Leonard saga. And we got a good game coming up soon. A good matchup against the Miami Heat, and I'm sure that the Raptors are going to come out wanting to win that one and solidify their second place in the East. Maybe work their way up, face against or take the spot from the Bucks. We'll see. All right, that's it for me. Sound off in the comments. Cheers.